movies and TV shows, comics and collecting and superheroes. There's no end to the useless stuff they know. But don't call them geeks, they're just regular Joes.
Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
Good evening as we're recording this, everybody. What's going on?
We've got an exciting show for everybody tonight with more talk about Star Trek the Motion Picture. No, I'm kidding.
No, we don't. It was a trap for Todd.
It's become an inside joke that Todd loves.
Todd will
so
answer
much.
any text negatively if you mention Star Trek the Motion Picture.
There's no other way to answer.
I don't buy that. Anyway, before we get started, I want to reach out to one of our friends of the show, Marcus, we'll call him Whitey, YT. He sent us, he went to Mission Chicago, the Star Trek Mission Chicago, and sent us gifts,
That is awesome.
which was very nice.
Which is incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We really appreciate you thinking of us. And I do. That will fit nicely in our 13 by 9
the portfolios we have, yes.
Yes. Is yours in there already? Is that I didn't put my... Oh, I have them.
You haven't
I
given
was
them
going
to
to
us
say,
yet.
yeah, how would that be
I
unless
just realized that. It's yours.
unless he's calling from inside the house?
Unless
Yes.
you've invented a time machine I'm unaware of.
No.
Well, you should bring those this weekend when we are at yet another Star Trek-themed event together. the
We
three
are.
of us.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We're all going to the Paley Center in New York to see the first two, apparently, episodes of Strange New Worlds. It's not like so Paramount reached out. They are always hassling us to do stuff, and we're very busy, but we agreed to do this. And we are paying $20 like anyone else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and they made tickets available to the public. So.
Yeah.
yes. Other than that, but if anyone's going, let us know. So
Yeah,
it's
that'd
Sunday,
be great if somebody's...
and they also have a display of, I think, the display from Mission Chicago that
At least
Paramount
partially,
Plus
yep.
had. So there'll be props and stuff like that.
costumes and things, we think. And
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'll just go to that, when I'm in the city. And then Todd suggested we go to the thing on Sunday, so we're all doing that. So if you're going, let us know. We'll say hi. We'll bring you a hat. So we're doing that. So anyway, Whitey, thanks very much. Good, long-time listener, friend of the show. Thank you very much. We're going to talk about TV. Lots of stuff coming up. I don't know why I feel like the seasons of television and stuff are all over the place now, but I feel like, at least in our mind, we sort of went through a bunch of stuff that's ending, and now a bunch of new stuff is coming. Not that this is in any regular anything.
I'm trying to think of what the good version of Armageddon is, because it's like a Streamageddon or something. I mean, it's just like this is like just this confluence.
Streamapalooza.
I was going to say the
There you go,
Streamapalooza.
Barry. Thank you.
Any of the
It is
paloozas
a
are good.
Streamapalooza in the next 60 days.
This is kind of the equivalence in the old TV days of the sweeps. Like, there's so much stuff coming out all in one shot.
It's just good. And I think what this probably is the different delays due to COVID and whatever. A lot of this stuff was backed up in the pipeline, and now the plug is pulled. It's just flowing, and enough plumbing metaphors, and there's a ton of stuff. So very cool.
There is a ton of stuff. So we'll talk about that. I don't feel like I have a ton, but collectively we'll have a ton. Let's go random. Barry, what do you got?
I have 3 Star Wars topics. I will do them one at a time, and we'll go in a round circle, just in case. In a round circle, wow. We'll go round robin, just in case you guys have any of these. But first one, I know none of us are going to Star Wars Celebration.
Unfortunately.
Neither is Mark Hamill, apparently. He tweeted out today that he is out of the country filming Mike Flanagan's Fall of the House of Usher until early July, and he will not be able to make Celebration. So...
Was he going to make it anyway?
I don't know if he was ever scheduled as a guest, but clearly he has a scheduling conflict. I think he's been out, well, obviously with COVID, but even before that, he had been off the convention scene for a little while. And he has not signed autographs in many years now. So there's a lot of people that are eagerly awaiting for him to show up at a con again because, Harrison Ford's done signings, like all these other people. And there are people that have gotten into Star Wars with the sequel trilogy and have been unable to get a Mark Hamill autograph. So
yeah. Ewan McGregor will be there though.
yes, he will, signing
Can you
autographs and
imagine
taking pictures.
The line, it's got to be mayhem to get to him at Celebration.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna pre-sell the tickets, and if you didn't get one in advance, you probably won't get anywhere near him.
Yeah. So, I mean, part of me is like, I really would like to go regardless because it's always a good time, but I have a conflict myself, filming conflict. But it'd be like so much pressure to get to Ewan McGregor. You're going to spend 6 hours probably.
Did you just say you have a filming conflict also?
Yeah, I was joking.
Yes,
that was a joke.
he's filming the fall of the House of Pisani.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
His wife is filming him as she's enjoying his vacation. Is what he's basically saying. What do you got?
I'm going to jump in with one because it sort of ties into that. This is just a random. Celebrity Authentics autograph website that it says they just had a pre-order. They do signings with a bunch of people. I have a bunch of stuff. Jeremy Renner and Paul Rudd and a bunch of stuff from them. Milja Djokovic, it sold out in like half an hour.
Really?
I mean, again, I'm not the hugest Resident Alien or Resident Evil fan. I've seen some of them. She's good in, I liked her in whatever she's been in.
Fifth Element.
I don't. Maybe she Fifth Element. I don't know. Maybe she hasn't signed before. It's not really on my.
Hasn't signed before.
It's not on my radar. But I was like
pent up demand thing.
And I was just looking at my emails. It's like Milia's going live. And then I'm like, and in the same, like, 3 emails later, it's like 50% sold out. 2 emails later, 95% sold out. I'm like, oh, good for me. I guess maybe you haven't gotten a hold of her previously. I don't know.
Corbin Dallas, multipass.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked her in Resident Evil. Wasn't she in Ultraviolet or something?
She's been in a bunch of stuff, but I think she primarily does genre stuff. So
yeah, she does. Good for her. Yeah. And she's married to
a director.
Not Paul Thomas Anderson, the other guy. The other Anderson, I think.
Wes Anderson?
Maybe. I don't know. Is that a guy?
It is a guy, yeah.
He directs Resident Evil. Todd, you go and I'll look that up.
Okay. So, sequels. Lots of them. Batman will be getting a sequel.
Shocking.
Yes. I think that surprises absolutely nobody. There will be another Venom sequel. Probably also not surprising.
Yeah, I saw that today. That they announced
was kind of surprised by this third one, Ghostbusters Afterlife. They announced a sequel.
Well, they're just calling it Ghostbusters 5.
I'm not surprised at that. I had that as one of my things.
I say leave it where it is.
It was good, but...
It was good, but...
But they're a movie studio, and it made a lot of money, so they can't help themselves.
Didn't do crazy money, and
for a pandemic, it did.
Pandemic times, I guess
so.
Well,
I guess so.
Milja Djokovic is from the Ukraine.
Yes. Yep.
We stand with Ukraine.
We do. He's married to Paul W.S. Anderson.
Oh, okay.
He's a director.
So.
Oh, she was married to Luc Besson.
Yeah.
Isn't he the French douchebag who doesn't like
He is
Marvel
the douchebagette,
movies?
yes.
He's the douchebagette.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to my topic.
Sorry.
I was done. Anyways, Batman, excited. Dave, you sent a few days ago, that totally...
You can't... you're jumping on everyone's topic.
You want to use that. Go ahead. You use that then.
I'm not doing it. No. There is, if you haven't seen it, and it's got like a zillion views.
I was just going to say, it is. You sent it early. Now it is viral. It's everywhere.
Yeah. Somebody took Adam West Batman and put it into sort of, I guess, a trailer or a little clip of the Batman, and it's awesome. They did a really good job.
It is absolutely amazing. And
the director even comment. Matt Reeves was on Twitter was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
The coming out of the shadows down the hall scene with the gun flashes is just absolutely phenomenal. The car stuff's okay. It's really good, but
he's running with the bomb. Isn't he running with the bomb at one point?
But then, like, when he walks up to the car, upside down car, and drops the bomb, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So, good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned Ewan McGregor, so I just thought it was worth a mention that this weekend he and Mary Elizabeth Winstead got married.
Okay.
Oh,
There you go.
Really?
Congratulations, you crazy couple, you.
Yes.
I guess so.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Do you want me to do my next topic?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead. I'm out.
So, the director of photography are Dario Goldman. He is the director of photography for the Andor series that has not come out yet. In an interview he did in Portuguese, so this is translated, basically said that he was signed on for 5 seasons of Andor, and it has now been reduced to 3 seasons. But he hasn't said, or he doesn't know, I guess, whether it's that they're just telling the same story and maybe adding more episodes to each season, or if there's cutting scope of the story. But so it's interesting because he's first time anybody's officially confirmed it was 5 seasons, and now he's the first person to confirm it's 3 seasons. Hasn't debuted yet. It's also, from what they have officially said, the first season's 12 episodes, which is almost double the length of like every other Star Wars series
And that's
Marvel
what I'm
series.
wondering whether that is considered 1 season or considered 2 seasons. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, could be.
That's a lot for one of these things. So
It is. I mean, the longest Mandalorian season's been 8 episodes, I think, right?
Right.
So, interesting. I am maybe more so than the both of you really looking forward to that show.
I'm looking forward to that.
I am. It's very hemmed in by, the reality of what happens later, but I guess all this stuff is one way or another. I got 5 seasons sounds very ambitious.
Yeah, that's a little like.
Even
also
they're
that
going to
he's a
do
decade
12
older.
episodes each season. Like,
No, but I'm saying
how
he's
do you
also a
announce
decade
something like
older
that,
than
5
he was when he made
episodes?
the movie. So, 5 seasons, 5 years from now, theoretically, it's going to be a stretch playing a younger version of that character.
and if they hadn't called it Andor, then you would have thought, well, maybe it could focus on different characters. But calling a show Andor kind of also pins you into it being about that character.
They
Did
also
he mention any relatives?
No.
Okay,
I don't think he
so
did.
maybe
he's
maybe
triplets.
his family is just like the resistance is strong in his family.
I needed to go at least 2 seasons because I want them to bring K2SO in. I'm like, 12 episodes without K2SO seems like a lot.
They also tie people to contracts with writers to let them out. I mean, it's 5 is not necessarily 5.
Right.
Could be they're
I
also
just
not
got a
thrilled with what he
text.
did, and they're just like, no, really, just this is we're not going anywhere near as long as we said. So
I just got a text that Mark won first place in the Star Trek trivia, a Star Wars trivia contest just now.
Oh, good. You raised them right.
it's good.
I did. Very proud. Couldn't be more proud. Oh, you failed all your classes? I don't care. You got first place. You did not.
That is what's exactly priorities in order there.
Just more of a question than a topic, but did either of you see the latest trailer for the Buzz Lightyear movie?
I did not.
Latest as in when?
It just came out like a week ago.
No.
You have to watch it. The first trailer that came out was more like a teaser. This is a full trailer. This thing looks incredible. I mean, literally like an incredible science fiction movie made by Pixar, and Captain America's playing Buzz Lightyear. I mean,
Yeah,
I think if you're open-minded towards that whole thing, that taking this to a meta level, I think this could be a whole lot of fun.
the story looks great. I mean, and I don't. It looks like it's totally taken seriously. It's not like Toy Story humor. It's like
Right, yeah.
a real science fiction movie made by Pixar is what it looks like. With a little, Marvel-esque humor thrown in is what I'm getting. But anyway, you should check it out, and I recommend the listeners check it out if you haven't seen it. I was blown away how good it looks.
You know who I'm blown away by?
Tell me.
Fanboy Collectibles.
They're the best.
Check it out. Lots of Iron Studios statues that look awesome. And I'll tell you who they are. Scarlet, I wrote initials down and I knew I wouldn't remember what they meant. Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Batman, bunch of cool stuff like that. There's a ton of statues up who's that guy? Green Lantern. Green Lantern. There's a bunch of cool statues. There's that Batman. Did you see the Batman one, Todd? That's all you.
Yeah, very cool.
Hot Toys, Kate Bishop, up for pre-order. Thinking about that one very seriously. I almost said Hot Toys because their quality is good, but Benjamin Sisko from X06 up for pre-order. That's starting to be a very slippery slope, but a good one. So check.
Did you see the Captain Carter What If statue?
I did. That's
looks really good. It doesn't necessarily look like she did in the movies, but it looks like she did in the cartoon. So
yeah, they did a good job with that. So Hot Toys and Pops and Sideshow and Kotobuki's and all that stuff. Check those guys out, Fanboy Collectibles. I don't know if they'll be at any conventions. It is starting to be convention season, isn't it? But check them out at their website, fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Tell them the Regular Joe sent you. Okay. I just want to throw this out. So I was thinking to myself, and we had talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it on the show. So with Picard, it'd be great to see Terry Garr back. And then I was thinking to myself, that piece of shit episode before this week's would have been, or last week's would have been perfect to put her in. She unfortunately has multiple sclerosis and has retired. So thoughts go out to Terry Garr, who's awesome. I just watched part of Mr. Mom tonight.
Yep.
And she was great. They're both great in it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, Terry Garr, why isn't... But she has multiple sclerosis, but she's hanging in there, so...
I know we're not talking about Picard tonight, but are you finally caught up, Todd? You made it seem like you were way behind.
No, I've never been more than... I watched it over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
So, but I just have to get psyched up to do it. So.
Yeah, well, anyway, let's not go down that road.
Nope.
So let's talk about some stuff that's coming that we're interested in. How do we want to do this?
I made a list for myself of the things that I'm excited about.
Go around and just say the thing that you're most excited for, and after we're done talking about Strange New Worlds, we'll move on.
How is there a world? I mean, we've talked about Strange New Worlds.
No, that's what I'm saying.
How far out do you guys want to go? Because I made a list that takes me till June.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Why don't we go around? I don't have a ton. Barry, why don't you go first? I bet you probably have the most and are certainly the most organized.
Well, maybe. I made a list, so if that counts as being organized, then I guess so.
I scribbled some stuff down in my book.
All right, so I'm not going by what Todd said, because the things I'm most excited about are Strange New Worlds and Obi-Wan, and we've talked about that at length, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more now. But so this actually I think it starts this week, and I am kind of interested about it, and it's not really so much in our genre, but Paramount Plus has a show called The Offer, which is about the making of The Godfather.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I thought looked really good.
Yep.
Yeah, I was interested in that. We had talked about that about a year ago, I think.
That they were making it, but it's April 28th on Paramount Plus is when it comes out.
Yeah,
so
interesting.
Kind of, and again, I'm not going in any order here, but that's I think, the next thing that's coming out that I'm going to find time to watch. I don't know when, but I definitely want to watch it.
I have we've talked at length about Strange New Worlds and Obi-Wan, so we're all excited about that. I'm putting a gun to your head. You can only watch one of them. Which
Obi-Wan.
is it?
I gotta watch Obi-Wan.
Strange New Worlds.
Interesting.
And you know why? And it makes total sense that those are our answers, but Star Trek has disappointed me so much in the last couple of years. Star Wars only one thing has disappointed me in Star Wars in the last couple of years. So
see, I can't say that, but in my mind, Obi-Wan stays perfect as long as I leave it there, because I know exactly
it hasn't disappointed you yet.
I know exactly what I want it to be, and nothing I've seen has dissuaded me from that. I have to know that this is good, so I have to know that Strange New Worlds is good.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go. I mean, Obi-Wan is Ewan McGregor. Obi-Wan is my favorite Star Wars character, so yep. I have to go with that. That's tough. But anyway, okay. So you said
I said The Offer.
The Offer. Are we going most excited?
No, I was just going in order.
Just throwing stuff out
premiere.
There.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going in order of premiere. It premiered last week. I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing. Flight Attendant. I enjoyed the first season. I'll watch the second season.
Yeah, I never made it through the first season, and it wasn't that I didn't enjoy it. There was other things to watch, and I just never went back to it.
I enjoyed the whole first season. It was a little bit of a mystery. It was a lot going on. I feel even before having seen a second of it, it's the second season's not going to be as good. I don't know why. They're going in a weird direction. It seems like, but
no, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. Yeah,
you watch it because Penny's hot.
Yeah, I was going to say it would help if she was hotter. Like
hotter,
meaning that if they showed more of her.
Oh, I'm saying.
I'm not saying she needs to be naked. I'm just saying, it'd be nice if they showed a little more of her.
Wouldn't hurt.
Well, no, I wouldn't mind either, but yeah. Whatever. You can cut this part out.
No,
creepy old guy talking about Penny.
I work with middle school boys, both here and
they probably think, "Oh, who's that old lady Penny?"
That's right. Yeah,
she's young to us.
Yeah.
She's in her 30s. Todd, what do you got? What do you got?
Ozark.
Oh
yeah,
yeah. That's like April
29th.
I know.
That's actually this weekend, guys.
This weekend, guys.
Okay.
I am crazy excited for the second half.
For
of the
the
season.
record,
Close it out.
We've been talking about Ozark to Todd for a couple years, and he hasn't watched it until a couple months ago.
Like I said, I just mainlined the entire first 3 seasons before season 4 came out, and then watched that when it did.
Have you watched the trailer for the second half of season 4?
I have not.
Oh my god, it looks unbelievable.
I want to just go in. I want to go in blind right now.
It's going to be a trail of blood.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. It looks good.
It looks really good.
I listened to Jason Bateman's podcast, Smartless. I mean, he's very dry in that, but that's his. He produced it. I don't think he writes it, but he originally was going to do it and direct all of it. But that's his show. I mean, good for him.
Yeah, and it's not at all what he's kind of known for, which is what makes it
not
that
at all.
much more interesting to me.
I watched both Horrible Bosses in the past month.
Those movies are
great. They're funny as hell. I mean, you've seen them, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen them multiple times.
And I've probably watched every episode of Friends like 5 times over COVID because it always seems to be on. And to hear Jennifer Aniston talk the way she talks in Horrible Bosses is just crazy. It's just crazy. So if you haven't seen those movies, see them. They're fun.
Yeah, highly recommend those.
Anyway, so Barry, you go with something else next.
I mean, if we're going in chronological order, Strange New Worlds obviously comes out after that. But here's one that I only just found out about when I was doing research for this list, and maybe we talked about this, but this sounds interesting to me. It's called Night Sky. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. Comes out May 20th. It's got Sissy Spacek and J.K. Simmons.
Oh, I heard about that.
But they discover a chamber in their backyard that leads to a new planet that's light years away. They have a plot, and I'm reading this. The plot to carefully conceal the chamber's existence begins to unravel when the strange man shows up at their house. That just sounds interesting to me.
Sounds like La Brea.
Oh, no. It's on Amazon, so they at least had access to a lot more money than La Brea did. But we'll see. I mean, it could be interesting.
I'm going with stuff. Barry just started on Sunday.
Yes.
You guys?
Yep.
No spoilers or anything, but I found it very interesting. Did you guys watch? And it's not going to spoil anything.
I haven't.
There is no previously on Barry because it's been 3 years. They didn't say anything, and they sort of just once you watch the episode, you remember everything. So they did a really good job of weaving that in. But that's
it's been so long. I almost feel like I need to rewatch season 2.
Yeah, those are so short. I need to stack up 3 of those because
it was short.
It just goes by really quickly. And but that is one of the things I was looking forward to.
Yeah.
My next, I will say, in part because this is the end of this, but and I'm interested to see how they wrap this up. But Stranger Things.
I had that on my list, and I wanted to ask you guys: do you think anybody still cares? And I'm interested to watch it too, but I also kind of feel like so much has come and gone since that aired and
that's why I think
still relevant.
Hopefully they have a way to wrap this up, and they're going for closure, and I really hope that's the case.
I'll watch it. I don't think I was ever oh my God, it's the greatest thing. There was definitely the hype. I mean, it's been a freaking long time. I also read, and I don't know if this is true, every episode costs $30 million.
Whoa.
If that's true, and I don't remember the source of that, that's crazy.
That's like Lord of the Rings Amazon budget level.
I
almost.
mean, but
That's
I mean,
a lot of
maybe
money.
the merch is. I mean that and then I had read another article that it's crazy what they're doing. I don't even
I also
have a
wonder,
clue what
are they having to pay those kids a lot more money now to get them to come back and do it?
Yeah, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Even if you paid every kid $1 million an episode,
Yeah.
you still have like $25 million left over.
Yeah, and if you pay David Harbour and Winona Ryder $5 million an episode, you still have a lot of money left over.
They don't need $5 million.
No, I know they don't, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, that's a lot of money. I mean, maybe it's all in visual effects, so.
Yeah,
See,
I'm assuming.
Again, like I said, I
when
love
is
the
that?
first
Is that
season.
like summer?
I've liked it progressively. No, May 27th, I think.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
May 27th.
I
There's a
didn't
lot
realize-
of shit coming
And
out
I've
all at the
liked
same
it.
time.
You know, it's been
It's
okay,
been good.
but
Every
progressively
episode, every
less
season's been good.
good as it's gone along. I would really like to see them finish this out strong.
Well, you know they're doing the thing with what comes out May 27th is season 4 part 1. And then I think in July or June or July they release part 2. So
There's a lot of shit coming out.
there's a lot of these shows are doing that now. Where they either drop once a week for 8 weeks or they drop 4 at a time and then you wait a month and they drop the next 4.
I think that makes more sense than dropping an entire season from a spoiler standpoint, because you got a lot of people that 48 hours later are just throwing everything out there.
Yeah.
And I think doing the Ozark thing.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
like
smart.
the week. I like weekly.
Yeah. See, I would rather. I'd rather have like. I guess my ideal would be give me like 3 episodes at a time or something. It's even if you space a couple weeks between them, but it's like it's hard for me to just remember.
It depends
everything
what it is
weekly.
for me, because like if it's something like a Star Wars show or a Marvel show, I want to have that time in between to process it and think about it and talk about it. But like as an example, Upload season 2, I don't care that it's all out there. I'm watching them once every 3 or 4 or
Yeah,
5 days, and
haven't
I don't
watched that
feel
yet.
like I'm at risk of having it ruined for me because not
Exactly,
enough
but you
people
can
are
also
talking
knock
about
off
it.
a couple at a time if you want to. And
Yeah, but the fact that not enough people are talking about it, and I'm not worried about scrolling my social media feed and being spoiled, that
Yeah.
it's okay. I don't feel any pressure to watch it.
yeah,
I mean, this is completely not something that you care about being spoiled, but I was scrolling through my news feed today, and I saw something about Below Deck Sailing Yacht or whatever fucking show I was watching, that they told me about something that happened in it just in the headline, and I'm like, I didn't watch that yet. Like, I didn't need to know that. And again, I don't care if that show is... It's hard to call a reality show spoiler a spoiler, but I was like, oh, I didn't realize that character was leaving the show this week or something. So, it's weird what bothers you when you get spoiled about it and what doesn't. But, yes, things like Obi-Wan and, like we were saying before we started recording, like, when I go see Doctor Strange a week after it comes out, like, I'm going to have to basically hide my head in the sand for a week because it'll be ruined
Yeah.
for me by the second day.
I as I said, I do think there's probably No Way Home level spoilers in that movie. I can't think of another Marvel movie where they've thrown us so much in the trailers. It's like every time there's a trailer, there's more stuff thrown at us. I think there's a lot of obfuscation going on. So
That's going to be tricky.
you will see by the degree to which I am not talking about that movie. So,
I think Barry, you were going.
Oh yeah, I guess I go. So I know neither of you are going to watch this. There's a show on FX called Pistol, and I know it's not a streaming service, but it's a Sex Pistols documentary series that I'm somewhat interested in. But the fact that
just one thing, Barry, is this a movie you're talking about?
well, if the director calls it one time,
It's the
we'll
Sex
see.
Pistols movie that they'll be showing in installments. Is that what this is?
They called it a docu-series in the website I was on, or
It's
6-part
definitely acted
miniseries.
out, right?
What's interesting about it to me, though, is that the front man of the Sex Pistols, Johnny Rotten, tried to sue the other members of the band not to make this movie. which tells
It's
me
mostly about one guy. One guy wrote. Who's the other guy? The guitarist who wrote the book.
Steve Jones. Yeah.
How are these people alive?
Well, one of them isn't.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, how are there any people left alive from that
Keith
band
Richards
pursuit?
is still alive. So
yeah, really.
There's hope for just about anybody.
Yeah, it's based on Steve Jones's memoirs, but yeah, Johnny Lydon or Johnny Rotten, whatever you want to call him, he tried to sue them to not make the movie, and he lost. So that just makes it a little more interesting. But that's like, I'll watch an episode of it, and if it's good, I'll watch the rest of it. But Danny Boyle is directing it.
Oh, that's right.
So,
yeah. So I mean, I'm not the biggest fan. I like 2 of their songs, but
they only made one real album. So
yeah. Is not to go on a tangent? Is anyone still watching Halo?
Yes,
I am. Yeah.
So, I stopped at 2.
Okay, let me ask you this: does Halo have good numbers because it auto plays right after Picard?
Oh, I saw that. They tried to make me watch that. And I got an email from Paramount Plus. Hey, pick up where you left off on Halo.
Oh, wow.
Know? Yeah, everything's intrusive
I'm
these
watching
days.
it mostly because my son Josh, it's something that he and I watch together, and he's not loving it either. He's a huge Halo video game fan, and it's so far off from the storylines in the games, but he feels compelled to see it through, so the 2 of us are still watching it together.
I honestly could sit down in front of the TV and well, what do I have to watch? I don't know. And that just does not pop into my head. It's just there's nothing that it's compelling to watch.
Okay.
I may still watch it.
It's okay, and there's times when I just have to tell myself that this is very based on a video game, and there's certain things that would bother me, like the fact that the pistols and the rifles tend to have exactly the same stopping power for some bizarre reason. It's like, like the Marines 12 Marines shoot one of these alien guys and they don't flinch, but Master Chief takes his pistol out and takes him down with one shot. And then, it's like, okay. That feels video gamey. Not drawn into the storyline at all. I think he's doing a reasonable job, but it seems the storyline's pretty thin. I will say visually, they're doing a good job with it. There's some of it looks video gamey. There was a battle scene in the most recent episode, including a significant spaceship crash in the background that was pretty impressive. But yeah, I'm just kind of, like I said, if it didn't auto start after Picard, I would say I probably might have forgotten it by now.
I said no to it.
Yeah, and I think I'm 2 episodes behind. We're going to try to catch up.
Yeah, I've watched 2. I mean, I may go back, but there's so much other stuff now. Stuff that you guys haven't watched. So, Bosch was on Amazon. They did 6 seasons. Now they're doing a new Bosch series. He, spoilers, left the police force and now he's a private detective. I guess that happened in the books. But it's on IMDb. Had a channel, free channel, which they just changed and rebranded to Freevee as opposed to TV.
And
it's free TV.
Associated with Amazon anyways?
It's owned by Amazon.
Okay.
So, Amazon owns IMDb, and they had owned the IMDb channel. The only thing that was on IMDb channel that I guess was new was Judge Judy went from syndication or wherever the hell she was to IMDb for like $30 million a year, and now this is going to go on Freevee, which was, I mean, I like those. I like the series. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to see that comes out May 6th.
Good thing it wasn't on CNN Plus. Just saying.
Jeez, I know. They had 10,000 viewers a day.
Yeah,
which is not enough to sustain a stream.
No, it is not.
It's news. No one's paying money to watch news.
I think, and not to go off on a crazy tangent, it's the most short-lived streaming service in the history of streaming services.
It's even shorter than Quibi.
Oh yeah, way shorter than Quibi.
Although I got more money out of Quibi than I did get out of CNN Plus. They spent some decent money, but like Paramount Plus is what, $5 with commercials. I don't know what CNN Plus was like. They're owned by the same company. What were you thinking? Yeah. You have original. It's freaking news. No one cares,
Yeah.
even if it's the original shows.
I think the median age too skews so high on those things that like these people are on a fixed income. Come on, they're not going to buy a streaming service. Just look at the ads, okay, on those shows. It's like, yep, irritable leg syndrome.
Yeah,
it's like
we watch some show. There's a lot of Jimmy Walker.
Oh my God! Yes,
promoting. Do you see that? Promoting.
I've seen that
something
commercial.
to do with
Yeah.
Medicare or I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those and the ones with Ponch doing the reverse mortgage commercials.
Oh, Ponch doing that? Oh boy,
God.
I haven't seen that one.
But
I see
boy,
Tom
I almost
Selleck doing
seen-
reverse mortgage.
You know, it's like honestly, I feel like Joe Namath talking about how Medicare will give you money back. Just makes me sad. I want to start a GoFundMe for him.
But like Tom Selleck's doing it. Tom Selleck's still on a network TV
Tom
show.
Selleck
Like
Tom Selleck though is got a much less desperate. He seems like he's that helpful neighbor guy, Tom.
yeah, that's what
as
he's trying to
opposed
come across.
As opposed to here, you know, we just found where the trailer that JJ's living in, and now we're giving him work. So within the time zone that we're talking about, still, I've got a couple more.
Yeah, I have some too. So you can,
Okay,
I think it's your turn though. So go ahead.
Okay, June 3rd, The Boys season 3.
Oh, really? June. I didn't realize that was June.
And I've got one before that, June 2nd.
Yes.
The Orville, New
Yes,
Horizons.
I had to, Barry. That's what I was teetering back and forth between the two.
And the Orville's on Hulu now, so that'll be Hulu.
Yep.
So you know, people, you need all the streaming services because each one has at least one show you care
That's
about.
right. That's right.
Jeez Louise.
Yep. We've previously mentioned For All Mankind, June 10th, but that's
Man, it is stacked full of stuff.
Well, and I think Todd is maybe the one who might be most excited about this one out of the three of us. But June 8th is Miss Marvel on Disney Plus.
yes. Yep.
I don't know that I need to watch that one, but I'm sure I will because
We'll see. I think that's
It's
going to be
Marvel.
more young adult than what we've seen.
But it
previously.
ties into the Captain Marvel too, right? I mean,
It
don't I
does,
need
yep.
to see this to know what's going
What's
on?
the
with
date
that?
on that one?
Yeah.
June 8th.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, the first week of June has like Orville, Boys, Miss Marvel, For All Mankind.
Okay. I previously
Wow,
mentioned
but-
Evil
but
coming back on the 12th.
Stuff
do
will
you have
still be
more?
running,
Do you have
though.
more, or are we running over you?
No, but yeah,
Um,
to Dave's point though, all those shows come out in June, but all the stuff we just talked about that comes out in May
So-
and April are still running.
Stranger New Worlds,
yeah.
Bosch, Obi-Wan, Stranger Things, Ozark, all that stuff's still going to be running. It's going to be a free
Oh yeah, no,
fall.
this is what I'm saying. It's crazy. One other one I have on my list from June 10th. I didn't know how far out we were going. Season 6 of Peaky Blinders, which you guys at some point. This is okay. This is my Ozark for you guys. You got to just try this, okay?
What is it? That name has always made me not
Okay,
want to watch it.
So Peaky Blinders is basically an Irish mob post World War One. Okay, and a Peaky Blinder is a like flat top cap. Okay, like a newsboy cap with razor blades sewn into the brim, so that in a fight, it is totally an unexpected and formidable weapon.
You haven't sold me on watching that show.
It's a period piece.
It's period piece, but
You
it's
know I don't
re-
do period pieces.
No, it's really good.
Mark loves it, too. He watches that.
Barry, half the shit you love takes place a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. That is a period piece. Okay.
Okay, let me rephrase. I don't like women in big frilly dresses that go up to their neck
Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone.
with hoops in the skirts.
so
it's not my thing.
no, it's after that. It's not. This is not Edwardian. This is after World War One. Anyways, badass mob action. Very brutal, very intricate plots, very very cool stuff.
And the name makes it sound to me like it's like a rompy comedy.
No,
Peaky Blinders
it's
sounds like
again,
a comedy
it's a
to
true.
me.
This was an actual gang. They've now taken it a lot further than the reality of the story. But watch the first season. Just check out the first season and just get three episodes in. And tell me this you don't like this. 'Cause,
Yeah, you could do that in like August when you're
yeah.
done
Oh yeah.
with
No,
all
that's,
of this
I'm
stuff.
saying because you're not going to watch 6 seasons between now and then. But it's really good. And again, like I said, I gave you the benefit of the doubt on Ozark. You should try this at some point. Barry, I think you would like it. Honestly, I know you don't
Yeah.
like period stuff, but
I like some period stuff. I shouldn't say I don't like any of it. I really don't like the earlier period stuff.
Yeah, no, this is not, like I said, this is not a romance. This is like an early mob story and set in Birmingham, and it's really good. So
now you mentioned Evil Season 3, right? June 12th?
Yep.
So the last thing I have on my list then is June 22nd, which is Umbrella Academy Season 3.
Yep. I think that is the last thing I had too.
I didn't want to go too far into the summer, but there's more stuff coming out in the summer, so.
I actually had a couple of movies that are streaming. One's out already called All the Old Knives with Chris Pine and Thandie Newton. Like a CIA thing. I don't know too much about it, but it's worth watching. And then June 22nd, Gray Man by the Russo brothers.
Oh, that's the one with Chris Pratt, right?
No, it's with Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, okay.
And that supposedly cost $200 million. So,
the Russo brothers have a great track record.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I had seen there's like a teaser out there for it. But that sounds exciting. So I don't know. The Chris Pine one's like a CIA thing, so that could be interesting. But that's available now on Amazon. You can check that out.
A lot of stuff coming.
I mean, when you really think about it, between like now and sort of, there could be like a dozen things all on at the same time that we want to watch. Because everything we said, I'll watch all of it, except for Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, well, period pieces.
Yeah. But yeah. So let us know if we missed anything. If there's anything you're out there want to watch and that we missed. Yeah, and let's see. Every single one of these is streaming, right? There's not even anything on basic cable. Well,
I mentioned a show on FX.
Oh, yeah.
But everything else on my list was...
Barry's on HBO, but it does stream
service.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm intrigued by, which actually it started 2 days ago? Showtime's got a series about the man who fell to Earth.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because
I'm a huge Bowie fan, and as a young adult, I watched the movie and was bored to tears by it. So I don't know, but it might be something I would.
It's got a good cast. It is a really good
Chitwell Ejiofor guy, isn't that him?
Yeah, I might go. I mean, it's not something I'm gonna like pursue right away, but in like the next doldrums when there's nothing on, I might go back and look for it.
Yeah. Interesting. Cool. Okie dokie. Let's go. What's in the box?
Saw you with the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
I know you guys both have the same things.
We both got two things, and they're the same.
Dave, why don't you go first?
Oh, okay. I can do that. Dave, what's in the box? Here's what's in the box. So I made a trip to Virginia this past weekend to see my mom and my brother and his wife down there. And I'm like, I'm leaving at a reasonable time. Let me look to see if there's any collectible stores on my incredibly long drive back. So you don't always get a choice. And there were a few. So I stopped. Couldn't even begin to tell you the town. It's probably about 25 minutes from where they are. And they're a half hour outside of D.C., so it's somewhere in one of those D.C. suburbs, which are a lot. So I stopped at a store called Tashi Station.
Wow.
Tashi Station.
How did you not stop at Tashi Station?
Exactly.
Did you get a power converter?
They were all out of power converters.
And did you whine while you were there?
Yeah.
I whined. And
you know how often they must hear that, by the way? They must hate that.
Some skanky chick named Cammie would not leave me alone.
And she kept saying, "No, really, I'm Koo Stark."
Yeah. So anyway, very nice store. It's sort of in this strip mall kind of thing, but nice, very well organized, clean. Nice to see. We've seen comic books or collectible / comic book stores that are always just
you and I don't think we really talked about it on the show, but you and I did a tour of everyone on Long Island a couple weekends ago when you were down here.
Yeah.
Some of them were better than others.
More. But this was smaller than those, but mostly new stuff, some vintage stuff, nothing that I got, I'm like, oh, they have an Empire Strikes Back blaster now that I'm on to that, but they didn't. So I picked up this. I'm like, do I need it? No, but I'm like, let me buy some since I made the trip. This is a, from Alien, it's a Kane in a spacesuit by a company called Hiya, Hiya, and it's, what scale is it? It says on the back, 1/18 scale. It's a little articulated thing. It's got some accessories. There were 2 versions of this. One, I haven't taken them out of the box yet. One, him in the spacesuit, and one with the face hugger in the thing. I just like, that's a cool, I don't have anything that's that spacesuit design, so I thought it'd be good on my Alien shelf there.
Let me know when you pop that out, because I've looked at those a few times, and I haven't really seen them out of the package. So...
Yeah, that's. I'm just trying to. I hadn't heard of these. First, I thought it was NECA, but NECA's making the bigger one, so it's.
Yep.
Exquisite Mini, new standard and series super articulated action figures from Hiya Toys. So they had this, and they think they had an Alien and maybe one other thing. But
I thought a couple times a neat thing to collect would be like, I've got my robot shelf. I thought about like different spacesuits. Like different versions of different spacesuits from things. And because there's a lot of those in that. You've got the Enterprise ones, and you've got the things like that would be interesting.
It'd be interesting. It's tough to get them in all the same scale.
No, they wouldn't be. But it would just be. But like the original series suit, which is done on a couple figures and a few things.
That would be a really good excuse to buy one of those 2001 spacesuits too.
It totally would.
Yeah, those are pretty sweet. They're just very delicate.
Sweet.
Stick a Major Matt Mason in there.
They did have not a lot. They had a fair amount of Playmates. The 9-inch and the 6-inch. I'm like,
Well, that was the one consistent thing you and I saw in every store that we went to on Long Island was no shortage of Playmates figures.
Somebody that starts today collecting those things is going to do well. That's what I'm just going to say. It's like,
not really. Yep. Anyway, so you guys, what's in the box?
So, which one do you want to talk about first, Todd?
So, one of our new favorite companies, EX06. We each, did I get that right? Yeah, it's right.
I think they call it X06.
Or X. Oh, okay.
Like EXO, like EXO.
Yes,
EXO.
and if you're googling it though, you're going to have to type EX06, because I've done that a lot in the last few weeks.
Well, we talked about them a couple weeks ago because they at the Mission Chicago Star Trek convention. They debuted like 40 figures. They showed prototypes for.
It's
everything.
insane. Yeah.
But they are priding themselves on the fact that they show a figure and then they put it right up for pre-order and then they ship it like within a couple months. It's not one of these like Hot Toys pre-orders that you pre-order it and 2 years later your figure shows up. They're trying to do much better than that.
So. Both I ended up buying 2 this week, or within the last 2 weeks. I did buy Janeway, and I did buy the Picard that Dave had a few months earlier. And I will give you a tip on these things. If you have an inclination towards them, pre-order them and get them early, because the windows aren't long on these at all. And because they're looking to ship these things quick. They're not looking to take pre-orders for 6 months and then ship the figures out. It's this week, as Dave mentioned, Cisco is up for pre-order, and that will be out reasonably soon. And
we'll talk about the actual figure that we both got in a second. But what I did find really interesting, because the owner of the company did an interview on Tested's website, or on Tested's YouTube channel rather, and he was saying that in between production runs of other figures, they're running figures that they haven't even put up for pre-order yet. So like the Spock from Star Trek The Motion Picture. See, I found a way to sneak in Star Trek The Motion Picture. Yep. The Spock figure from that movie, they've already run the first batch of them, even though they're not even up for pre-sale yet. And that's how they're able to get the jump on.
Oh, that's interesting.
On releasing them. So they'll produce a batch of them, then they'll put it up for pre-order, and then they'll know how many more they have to make. Then they'll run another batch in between another production run, and then they can ship them like 2 months later, which...
Yeah, if you look at their website, and it's though we do suggest you pre-order from Family Collectibles. If you look at their website, they tend to sell in 2 waves. They do a first initial and then a second, and the first is sells out quickly, and then but that's probably it. They're probably gauging demand, which is really smart, versus Hot Toys under shipping something and it being sold for $700-800.
Right. And they're like a lot of companies where they sell direct on their own website, and then they also sell through places like Fanboy and Sideshow. And Janeway is a figure that they had put up for pre-order a while back.
Yep.
Neither of us bought it at the time on pre-order, and then when it came out and we saw the reviews of it, we were like, "Oh, wait a minute! I think I want all the captains." And
yeah, for me, it was also the fact that it was like they talked about making all the captains, and I was like, "Yeah," and it's going to take 15 years for them to do that. And the prospect of they're doing 5 or 6 figures a year may change my mind on that. So good on them. So.
Yeah, so we were both able to track one down, Janeway figure down at retail, so we didn't have to pay crazy aftermarket prices for it. But you will in a few months. Like they're all going to dry up, and if you decided you wanted all the captains, you're going to be paying a premium. So your advice is right, though. If it's a figure that you think you want, buy it, because even if you decide you don't want it, you'll be able to make your money back and more after the fact. But they're doing great work. I mean, and I'll be totally honest, I haven't even opened mine yet, but I've seen yours in pictures and I've seen reviews of them. Mine's here, and I'm going to open it when I finally get a break. But it looks great. She's in scale.
The things they've done really well is they have a height scale worked out, and they're proportionate scale to each other. So she's not as tall as Picard or Kirk, and again, I think they did a super job with this. It's done really, really well. There's a lot of accessories. There's a whole bunch of hands. This is normal for these things. Phaser holsters, a pad, a tricorder, and then a phaser rifle, which is interesting because between the Picard, the Janeway, and the Cisco, you get 3 different versions of phaser rifle, which is kind of cool.
And they each come with a drinking vessel too.
Yeah, Picard didn't, which is too bad. Your version of Picard had his teacup. But,
that's right. I'm thinking about, because I have the Picard from what the hell was the name of that company?
From
QMX. From a few years back. Yeah.
So I will say I tried Janeway in a number of different poses with the phaser rifle, with the phaser, with the tricorder, or whatever, and she went back on the shelf with the coffee cup in her hand, because that's kind of how I picture Janeway. And it was funny. I got around after doing all this. I put it in there, and then I watched the final episode of Star Trek Prodigy, and spoiler, people. Okay, this minor spoiler. At the end, we see a glimpse of real Janeway versus virtual Janeway, and the first shot is not her; it is her coffee cup in her hand. So. So I'm not the only one that associates that with her. So we'll see how that goes. The figure's well done. The sculpt is good. The paint is good. I would say they're not at Hot Toys level on the paint and the sculpts yet, but each one seems to be improving.
I also think, for whatever reason, the male figures they've done so far have been closer in the likenesses and the paint than she is, but it's close enough.
I think so too. I do. I think so too. And
I think women are harder, especially with their hair and the fact that they wear makeup and other things makes them harder to reproduce.
At least they got the hair right. They didn't do the Katharine Hepburn hair thing, so that was good. The uniform is absolute top notch. The stitching on this thing is super tiny, super fine stitching. It's very crisp. It's very, very, very well done. There's no flaws in it at all. I'm impressed, and they're still coming in at lower than Hot Toys prices, and I think if you're big into Star Trek, this is and you look at Hot Toys figures and you realize that you're 10 years behind the game on those. This is kind of a neat way to build a collection in a short period of time. So,
and they're giving you a lot of options, which is good. But
yeah, interestingly, the Cisco that's coming out next, there are a ton of options with that, and they also are put up for pre-order a light version with fewer options. So I hadn't seen them do that before. So this is be interesting to see what they do with that. But I know we talked about this a little bit a few weeks ago, but I have a really long list of these figures that I want.
Oh yeah.
And I think the only one that the two that I know I would definitely buy that aren't offered or weren't previewed yet. I want a Dax. I definitely would like that. Would be the other DS9 character I want.
Risa Dax.
Actually, Dax in the original series uniform would be very cool.
Trial and Tribulations.
How awesome would that be?
I would have all those outfits made, the bathing suit and
but it would be like the bridge between the two, two series. Have her in. That would be so cool.
Here's the
if
question.
she doesn't,
I was going to say,
people
even
should
if
be
she's...
people should be listening to the show because we're giving you ideas here for free. But that, as a limited run figure, would sell like crazy.
But even if she's in full DS9 uniform, I want the detail all the way down.
Go all the way down.
And if they don't have that, I need you to paint it on.
Yeah, we could work that out. I'm sure.
And the other one is I want the or I think I want the Strange New Worlds Pike. So because I like those uniforms. So
yeah,
anyways,
that
is a very very long what's in the box and.
We didn't
even do the
another
I was
item
about
yet.
10% of which we talked about the actual item. But Barry, what's the next thing?
So then the other one, and this is the other end of the spectrum because I ordered this a long time ago, and I think you did too, and it did finally to the point where I had forgotten I ordered it. It's from what they call themselves Hero Collector now, but I guess it's Eagle Moss, right?
Yep.
So this is the Nomad, which they're known for making ships, and sometimes they do all the ships in scale with each other, and sometimes they do things that aren't in scale. This is not in scale to anything. But at the time that they put it up for pre-order, we had been talking about 3D printing a Nomad and that I would paint them, and we were trying to figure it all out. And then they put this up for pre-order, and I was like, well, we'll buy this. And then, Christmas time came, and Dave got us all, the 1/6 scale Nomad, which is awesome.
Which is awesome, yeah.
I feel like
it's so much smaller.
Oh my God, it is small. I feel like that Nomad is like 1/5 and a half scale. It's a little big for 1/6. The one I got you.
Yeah,
guys.
it could be. But I mean, this one, obviously the Eagle Moss one,
That's like Big Jim scale.
It's got a little bit more detail.
It's the 9-inch Playmate scale.
Oh,
yeah, that is true.
I didn't order one.
So I'll give you mine. So you could, if you kept your Scotty, you could make those little grabber things and have them hold it.
I've never opened one of those. I've never opened any of them.
Well, just going back to this for a second, the detail on it is great. It's really well done. It's got a little bit more fine detail probably than the 3D printed one does.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But not that much more, which is kind of what's really cool about the 3D printed one.
Yeah.
It does, though, all the Eagle Moss stuff does come with a book, though, that has, actually really good, in this case, really good information. I haven't read all of it yet, but... and it comes with a stand that makes it look like it's floating, but not nearly high enough. But,
yeah, that Barry, makes no sense.
Where's the book?
The book is in the box.
I have not opened it yet. I was thinking that the other day. I was like, oh.
It's a miniature book now.
Oh, that's smart.
And it's in the box.
We didn't get a book.
The books were too much.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known it until I pulled the tray out, and then the book fell out. Yeah, it's behind the tray.
Because it's something I can look. So, as I just said, I have a robot shelf, but they're all benign or robots. They're all or friendly robots. So, but in the process of collecting these, I've got 4 or 5 nefarious robots, and so I think that or evil robots, and I think maybe I need to start another row.
Well, this Nomad's got to go on the shelf with your robots. I mean,
what's that?
The Nomad should go on the shelf with the other robots.
That's what I'm saying. He'll so he's just misguided. He's not evil. He just wants perfection. So.
But what's kind of cool is I went a long stretch where I wasn't really collecting any Star Trek related stuff, and it just feels good to have Star Trek stuff coming in again because there's good stuff to get.
Yeah, there is definitely good stuff to get.
And Playmates figures too. If you're so inclined.
And then there's those. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, I think the one Playmate 6-inch figure I kept was Dax in the Trials and Tribulations outfit, right? That's the only one I had. I had 200, now I have 1.
They've done things that lead me to believe that figure's not impossible for them to do. I could see them doing it.
I think
this is this is the
They'll do a
analog
Dax.
to this is very much the analog to Spock in the Mirror Universe, Q in the I mean, those have significantly less appeal than some of the Captain series. So I would not be surprised at all to see them do that.
And based on what they've shown already and how they're going to some fairly obscure things early on, like, you know, if anybody was ever going to do that figure, they would.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
They'll do it. It'd be cool if they did a deluxe with multiple
the
outfits.
Cage figures, the Pike in the chair.
Yeah.
It's like this is a big win for them. They need to do this. And it's very likely they're going to do an Uhura at some point because they've done a female body now, which the Janeway was their first. So if they do an Uhura, they're 3/4 of the way there.
Well, and you get 2 Daxes for the price of one. I mean, the face sculpt could be the same. The hair would have to be different, but you do the Dax face, and then you can make a regular DS9 Dax, and you can make the Trials and Tribulations Dax.
Yeah.
And they could do a Cisco Trials and Tribulations Cisco too.
So, yeah.
No one cares about that.
I was going to say, I really
saying.
I am totally indifferent to all the rest of it. But
I wonder how many Daxes they made in the 9-inch scale. I got to look that up. I know I haven't looked at those in a couple of years. I wonder if I probably have a couple of them.
I would imagine you have everyone they made.
No, I don't. I didn't get all that stuff. That was
no, I mean all the Daxes, all the specific.
No, I didn't get all the Daxes.
Oh, no?
I don't think. I don't think so. Anyway, cool. Well, that's what's in the box. I have a last thought. So our pals at Regal Robots sent us an email. They got something coming up. This is hot off the presses, to be announced today. So they are. I'll read it because there's a lot here. They have a brief introduction to their latest Star Wars lineup, the Archive Collection. Now, the archives are at the archives at Lucasfilm, where our pals from Regal Robot, Tom and his crew, go to research things to make them. So they've been at the archives a number of times. We always ask if we could help. So far, no.
I have offered to carry his camera bags many times.
Totally do that.
So they are making something called the Archive Collection. It's a continuation and expansion of Regal Robots' work creating authentic replicas with impeccable lineage, with first-hand access to the original film artifacts and tools like high-resolution scanning. They are developing a collection that includes detailed recreations of props, busts, maquettes, and more. That's very exciting.
Well, and I can tell you that I recently spent some time with Tom, and he did tell me a little bit about some of what's coming, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm very excited for them to make props. I mean, we've talked to them about certain things that I know there's certain, especially things that have maybe had a second life in new stuff. But
yeah, and I think that they're going to be announcing a lot of it at Celebration. So
yes, it says right here, expect more information about this collection in the coming weeks, with a number of pieces to be revealed at Star Wars Celebration, and the first to be revealed on May 12th. So if you want, there's a link, regalrobot.com/news, or you could sign up for their newsletter. Go to our Facebook page, which is Regular Joe's something, right?
Facebook.com/Regular Joe's podcast.
I feel like I'm David Mindell. I don't even know our social media
Well, we haven't talked about it in so long.
Yeah, so I just posted this, and it's got links to sign up to their newsletter and stuff. So go to our Facebook page, like us while you're there, but check that out because that's exciting. And other people making props, and they do everything good. So check those guys out.
And a lot of companies make props. These guys, like Dave said, they're literally in the archives, like handling, scanning, photographing, making sure that they get everything right. So
yeah, not to mention the fact that they've had a million things come through the doors for their restoration business, so they know what stuff looks like. So
if people make prop replicas, they make replica props. I mean, it's replicas first.
Yeah. So cool. Anything else?
No. Good last thought.
Good last thought. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.